Never assume a Disney cruise means zero headaches. Because while the magic is real, so are the mistakes. And one wrong move could leave your wallet empty, your kids overwhelmed, and your entire vacation a meltdown in slow motion. Ready to dodge disaster before you even step on board? Welcome to Hidden Cruise, where we reveal what crew won't say and guests rarely post in their Instagram highlights. In this video, we're unpacking 13 brutally honest truths about Disney Cruise Line, starting with the chaos behind those smiling cast members and ending with the moments that might just change how you vacation forever. We'll dive into overcrowded kids zones, sky-high hidden fees, and crew burnout. Disney doesn't advertise, then swing to the unforgettable magic, the loyalty of long-serving staff, and why some families refuse to sail with any other line. If you're planning a Disney cruise or just wondering if it's worth the premium, this guide could save your sanity and protect your vacation memories. So grab your Mickey ears and your critical thinking hat, because not everything that sparkles at sea is pixie dust. Imagine paying thousands of dollars for what's marketed as the ultimate family vacation, only to find your kid can't get into the kids' club. That's the reality some parents face aboard Disney Cruise Line ships, especially during peak sailings. One mom on the Disney Dream described waiting in a crowd outside the Oceaneer Club while her son stood in tears beside her. He kept saying, "Why can't I go in? It's Disney," she recalled. But they literally weren't letting any more kids in. Disney's youth clubs are legendary, themed play zones packed with interactive games, character visits, science labs, art corners, and some of the best trained staff at sea. But here's the catch, they're also not unlimited. During high-occupancy sailings like spring break, holidays, or summer, those magical spaces hit capacity fast. And when they do, they start turning kids away, or requiring parents to wait in line just to drop them off. This isn't just a mild inconvenience. For many parents, the kids' club is how they plan to relax or even enjoy a quiet dinner. So when those doors are shut, it disrupts the entire family's flow. Parents are forced to keep their children entertained on the fly, scramble for reservations they were counting on, or deal with overtired meltdowns from kids who were promised unlimited playtime. The worst part? Disney doesn't always warn you ahead of time. There's no push notification, no real-time capacity indicator in the app, and by the time you show up, it's often too late. Some guests have even reported dropping their kids off at 9 a.m. just to secure a spot for the day. So what's the fix? Be strategic with timing. Drop your kids off early in the day when the crowds are lighter, and avoid the post-dinner rush when every parent has the same idea. Also, visit the clubs during open house hours early in the cruise to help your child get familiar with the space. They'll feel more confident, and you'll be able to ask staff about capacity trends on your specific sailing. And if it sounds like that's a lot of effort for something that was supposed to be easy, well, it is. But the chaos doesn't stop there, because even if you do manage to enjoy some adult time, there's a good chance you'll feel the sting when your final bill arrives. You thought the price you paid was the price you'd pay, but then the bill hits, and it's hundreds more than you expected. Welcome to the world of Disney Cruise Line's hidden extras. One family sailing on the Disney Fantasy said they budgeted just over $6,000 for a 4-night cruise with 2 kids. "We prepaid everything," the dad said, "or at least we thought we did." When the cruise ended, their stateroom account showed an extra $987 from soda packages, character breakfasts, Wi-Fi, tips, and daily charges they didn't fully understand. "It felt like being nibbled to death by hidden fees," he admitted. Disney is not a budget cruise, and they make that clear from the start. But what many first-time guests don't realize is that even after you've paid your fare, you're still navigating a minefield of extra costs. Want bottled water in your room? That's extra. Want to use the laundry machines? Extra. Want fast internet, coffee at Cove Cafe, or premium seating at the adult brunch? That's all extra too. The real kicker is how easy it is to lose track. The Disney Cruise app lets you make purchases with just a tap, and since there's no cash used on board, it's dangerously frictionless. Many guests don't check their balance until the end of the cruise, and by then, it's too late to undo the damage. Why does this matter? Because a Disney cruise is already one of the most expensive mainstream cruise lines per night, even before you factor in add-ons. And those small upgrades, they're engineered to look harmless, but they compound fast when you're dealing with a family of 4 or more. So what's the smart move? Set a spending limit before you board, and stick to it. Use the app to track your stateroom balance daily. Let your kids know what's included versus what costs extra. And most importantly, plan your splurges intentionally. Don't let them sneak up on you. Want to skip the sticker shock entirely? Prepay your gratuities, stick with included dining options, and only use Wi-Fi when absolutely necessary. You'll still have a great time without the financial hangover. But here's the catch. Even if you avoid the spending traps, Disney still adds one more surprise that can leave guests fuming, and it hits every stateroom automatically. Here's a scenario Disney doesn't advertise. You check your stateroom account the night before disembarkation and find a mysterious charge you didn't authorize, around $14.50 per person per day. For a family of 4 on a 5-night cruise, that's nearly $300 added without warning. Sound familiar? That's the automatic gratuity charge, and it catches guests off guard all the time. Most mainstream cruise lines apply daily service charges. It's standard practice. But what makes Disney different is the lack of clarity. Many guests report not being aware of it when they booked. Others assume tipping is optional, or that they'd have the chance to handle it in person. But unless you take action, the amount is quietly added to your account and divided among your stateroom host, dining team, and head server. The result? Confusion. One guest on Disney Wonders said they left cash tips on the last night, only to realize they were double tipping because they hadn't opted out of the auto gratuity system. I felt embarrassed, like I didn't understand how things worked, they said. And that's part of the problem. For a company built on clarity and communication, this is one area where Disney drops the ball. And while the crew absolutely deserves to be tipped, many of them rely on it, the issue is about transparency and choice. Guests want to understand what they're being charged for and why. A surprise at the end of a vacation, especially one that affects your budget, doesn't exactly send you home smiling. So how do you handle it? First, educate yourself before you board. The gratuity policy is listed on Disney's website, but it's buried in the fine print. If you prefer to tip in cash or want to adjust the amount, visit guest services early in the cruise. Not on the last night when the line wraps around the atrium. You can choose to increase or decrease the suggested amount, or remove it entirely if you plan to tip differently. Quick tip: if you feel your service team went above and beyond, consider tipping extra in person in addition to the automatic charge, but only after verifying whether it's already been applied. Gratuities can feel like a minefield, especially when they're handled behind the scenes. But even if you manage that, there's another unexpected shift that can throw your whole evening off, and it starts with something as simple as dinner. One of the most talked about features of Disney Cruise Line is rotational dining, a creative concept where guests move between 3 themed restaurants each night, while their same waitstaff follows them throughout the voyage. It's meant to offer variety without sacrificing consistency. But when that system breaks down, or worse, gets altered last minute, it can leave guests confused, disappointed, and frustrated. On a recent Disney Magic sailing, a family eagerly anticipated dining at Animator's Palette, a high-tech restaurant where the walls come alive with art and animation. But midway through the cruise, their dinner was suddenly reassigned to one of the more standard dining rooms, and their Animator's Palette night was gone. No explanation, no heads up, just a new schedule printed in their stateroom. The parents were more disappointed than the kids. "It was one of the top reasons we chose this itinerary," the mom said. "We felt cheated." This isn't an isolated case. On full-capacity sailings, or when the ship adjusts seating for private events, large groups, or health protocols, the dining rotation can be reshuffled without warning. Some guests find themselves in the same dining room 2 or 3 nights in a row, missing out on the variety they were promised. Why does this matter? Because dining isn't just food, it's part of the Disney cruise experience. Each restaurant tells a story, from the princess-inspired elegance of Royal Court to the Marvel-themed action at Worlds of Marvel. Each meal is designed to be immersive. So when that experience is interrupted, it feels like a piece of the vacation is missing, especially for first-time guests who built up expectations from YouTube videos, blogs, or past traveler reviews. So what can you do about it? Check your assigned dining rotation on embarkation day. It will be printed on your Key to the World card or listed in the app. If something's missing or doesn't match your expectations, head to guest services or speak to the dining team immediately. Sometimes they can swap you into a different rotation if space allows, but spots fill fast, so act early. Also, if you're celebrating a special occasion, or really want a specific restaurant for a specific night, make that request in advance through your travel agent or Disney's Cruise Line portal. When Disney dining works, it's unforgettable. But when it gets reshuffled without warning, it leaves a bad taste. And not because of the food. And the strain doesn't end with guests. Because behind the scenes, the same magic that delights families can push crew members to their emotional limits. Disney is famous for its cast members, not just crew, but performers expected to stay cheerful, energetic, and magical at all times, no matter what's happening behind the scenes. But what most guests don't see is that this endless positivity comes at a steep cost, and it's burning out even the most loyal crew members. On a recent sailing aboard the Disney Wish, a guest struck up a conversation with their stateroom host, only to discover she had worked 6 months straight with no full days off. "We work split shifts," she admitted, "and when we're not cleaning, We're helping with luggage, doing training, or covering gaps, all while maintaining the signature Disney smile. Reports from former Disney Cruise Line employees echo the same pattern. Long hours, minimal rest, and a constant expectation to perform, not just to serve. Wait staff must remember your name, your drink order, your dietary preferences, and even your kid's favorite cartoon character, all while navigating high-traffic dining rooms and back-to-back services. Youth counselors are tasked with entertaining dozens of high-energy children for hours on end, often with no air-conditioned break space for recovery. Why does this matter for you as a guest? Because overworked staff can lead to slower service, emotional fatigue, and even subtle breakdowns in safety or sanitation. You might notice a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, or a delay in room service, or a missed towel animal that would have otherwise been a highlight for your kid. Disney still delivers a high standard, but the cracks are starting to show, especially on longer sailings or during holiday seasons when demand is highest. And while Disney does pay slightly higher than some budget cruise lines, that doesn't always make up for the physical and emotional toll. The show must go on culture leaves little room for vulnerability, and burnout leads to higher turnover, which means more inexperienced staff being trained mid-sailing. What can you do? First, recognize the humanity behind the magic. Treat cast members with patience and kindness, especially when something goes wrong. A smile or a thank you card goes further than you think. Second, don't assume your disappointment is always due to incompetence. Sometimes it's exhaustion. Disney delivers the illusion of effortless joy, but that illusion is powered by people working harder than you'll ever see. And just when you think things couldn't get more complicated, the adult guests start noticing something missing from their side of the vacation. Quick note, if you're finding this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe so you never get blindsided by cruise surprises again. We break it all down here at Hidden Cruise. No fluff, just facts. You might assume that a cruise, any cruise, means unlimited drink packages and bars around every corner. But on a Disney ship, alcohol feels like it's hiding. And for some adult guests, that's a surprise they didn't expect. Disney Cruise Line doesn't offer traditional, unlimited drink packages like other lines. Instead, you pay per drink or choose small, pre-purchased bundles, usually limited to wine or beer. And while there are bars on board, they're not as prominent or party-focused as what you'd find on Carnival or Royal Caribbean. For parents hoping to sip a cocktail by the pool or unwind at a piano bar, the vibe is tame. One adult guest even described it this way: "It felt like we were sneaking drinks at a kid's birthday party." That's not to say alcohol is banned, it's just de-emphasized to keep the environment family-friendly. So what's the move? If you enjoy a daily drink or two, budget accordingly and know your options. The Skyline Bar, Cadillac Lounge, and Cove Cafe all offer solid selections, but don't expect loud nightlife or a flowing margarita machine. And just when adults think they've found their corner of calm, an even bigger surprise can hit: Disney changing your entire itinerary without much notice. You booked this cruise for one reason, Castaway Cay, or maybe it was Cozumel, or the double dip at Nassau, but suddenly, mid-vacation, it's gone. Disney has quietly changed the itinerary. It happens more often than you think. Weather, port conditions, or ship logistics can cause Disney to reroute sailings, even on the day of. But here's the twist. Sometimes guests don't find out until they're already at sea. One traveler on the Disney Fantasy said their long-awaited stop at Castaway Cay was replaced with a day at sea, and the only notice was a voicemail left in their stateroom. Disney claims it's always for guest safety, and often it is. But when you've planned your trip around that one island or paid for excursions in advance, the emotional letdown can be huge. What can you do? Have a flexible mindset and backup plans. Consider excursions that are refundable or offered directly through Disney so you're covered in case of changes. And most importantly, don't promise the kids anything that's not 100% guaranteed. Think that's frustrating? Just wait until you see what happens when Disney's magic actually works, because the next few perks genuinely blow people away. If there's one area where Disney leaves every other cruise line in its wake, it's themed entertainment. From Broadway-level shows to surprise character moments, this is where the magic feels real. And for many guests, it's worth every dollar. Take Pirate Night, for example. Entire decks transform into a swashbuckling festival. Crew members dress in full costume, guests are handed themed bandanas, and by nightfall, a massive fireworks show lights up the ocean sky. And yes, it's the only cruise line that launches fireworks at sea. Or step into a restaurant like Arendelle, a frozen dining adventure. It's not just a meal, it's a live show with Anna, Elsa, and Olaf singing between courses, while cast members serve Nordic-themed dishes. Families often say it's the highlight of their cruise, especially for kids. Themed meet and greets also go above and beyond. Where else can you casually run into Spider-Man in the hallway or have Belle stop by your table for a quick chat? Here's the real win. Disney nails the details. From music choices to costume quality, it's all built to be immersive. If you're traveling with kids, or you're a Disney fan yourself, these moments feel unforgettable. And we're just getting started. Because while the shows dazzle, the people behind them are the true secret weapon. Behind every moment of magic on a Disney cruise, there's someone making it happen. And what sets Disney apart isn't just training or polish, it's loyalty. Many cast members return year after year, with some working a decade or more on the same ship. And it shows. Guests regularly share stories of servers who remember their drink order from a cruise 2 years ago, or stateroom hosts who leave personalized notes for kids. One couple said they met a bartender on the Disney Magic who had served them on their honeymoon and was now mixing drinks on their anniversary cruise 10 years later. This kind of continuity is rare in cruising. High turnover is the norm across the industry, but Disney somehow retains staff at rates that make their competitors jealous. Why? Because Disney invests heavily in crew culture, providing more training, clearer expectations, and longer-term contracts. For you, this translates to exceptional consistency. The same warm greetings, the same clean cabins, the same familiar faces across ships and years. It creates an environment where service feels personal, not transactional. And when that kind of loyalty is paired with world-class entertainment and detail, you get something even better than service. You get connection. Coming up next, the entertainment on board isn't just good, it's some of the best at sea. When people say Disney cruises feel different, this is usually what they're talking about. Entertainment that doesn't just entertain, it transforms. Whether you're 5 or 50, the shows on board aren't just cruise good, they're Broadway good. Take Beauty and the Beast on the Disney Dream, a full-length musical that uses groundbreaking puppetry, lighting, and live vocals that could rival anything on land. Or The Golden Mickeys, a red carpet-style variety show that pulls from across Disney's film universe. Parents often say they expected to be bored, but found themselves genuinely moved. But it's not just about stage shows. Even trivia contests are themed with Disney twists. Deck parties erupt with characters and music. Scavenger hunts take you through every corner of the ship. And movie nights happen under the stars on giant LED screens. It's wall-to-wall immersion. What makes it work? Everything is family-centric without being childish. Kids are entertained, sure, but adults aren't just spectators. They're part of the experience. And the nostalgia is strong. Even on rainy days, the schedule stays packed. And when a cruise line can entertain your toddler, your teen, and your inner child all at the same time, that's something special. And yet, the highlight of many Disney cruises isn't even on the ship. It's a private island built just for you. You step off the ship and suddenly feel it. Peace. There's no vendors shouting at you, no crowds funneling through ports, just turquoise water, white sand, and hammocks swaying under palm trees. Welcome to Castaway Cay, Disney's private island, and for many guests, the single best day of the entire cruise. Unlike other cruise lines' private islands, Castaway Cay is purpose-built for Disney guests. There's a tram to take you straight to the beach, strollers and wagons waiting for families with little ones, and even a separate adults-only area called Serenity Bay. Want to snorkel with sunken Mickey statues? You can. Want a private cabana with drink service? It's pricey, but available. And the food included. Fresh BBQ, ice cream stations, fruit, and cold drinks are all part of the deal. Parents say it's the first time on vacation they've truly relaxed, because everything is handled. Even better, the ship docks right at the island. No tenders, no chaos. You can walk off, explore, swim, and be back in your stateroom in minutes if you forgot sunscreen or need a nap. It's not just a beach day, it's a Disney beach day, and it sets the bar unbelievably high. But if you think that's the peak of the experience, wait until you hear how some families are turning Disney cruises into a repeat tradition. There's a reason some families book their next Disney cruise while they're still on their current one. It's not just about the characters or the entertainment, it's the feeling, the sense that everything is taken care of, that your kids are safe, that even in the middle of the ocean, you're home. Disney has created something rare in the cruise world: emotional loyalty. Families come back not just for the experience, but for the memories they made the first time. They want their kids to see the same waiters, visit the same island, eat the same Mickey bars by the pool. And Disney leans into that, rewarding repeat cruisers with Castaway Club perks like early booking access, welcome gifts, and priority boarding. Guests who've sailed 3, 4, or even 10 times often describe it like this: it's our happy place, it's where our family reconnects, and that's hard to beat. Even the onboarding music, that iconic Disney tune playing as you walk on the ship, hits differently when it's familiar. It tells returning cruisers, "You're back. We've been waiting for you." Not every cruise line builds that kind of connection, but Disney does. And for many families, it becomes a tradition worth every penny. Still, before you book your own magical voyage, there's one more thing you need to do, and that's right here in the outro. If you've cruised with Disney before, or you're thinking about booking one, drop a comment and tell us what's the one thing you wish you knew earlier. Your experience could help someone else avoid a major mistake. And if you made it all the way through, type "smooth sailing" so we know you're part of the crew. Don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Cruise for more breakdowns like this. No fluff, just real advice to help you cruise smarter. Click here to keep learning, stay sharp, and never cruise blind again.